Ermal, and I'll be your host tonight. And welcome to CommuniTEA, where young Black, gay, and bisexual men have upfront and open communication and conversations about sex, relationships, racial identity, and community engagement. We are here on the behalf of United Black Element. United Black Element exists to create a safe space for young Black, gay, bisexual men so they can live up to their fullest potential and bring good to the world. Now, if you are in DFW area and you need help or you need assistance or you need free HIV and syphilis testing or interested in getting PrEP, you can give us a call here at 214-393-3700. Now, today we have a great show for you. We are talking about friendships and dating. Now, we want to know, do you have any friends or friends with benefits or any type of friendship type of relationships that mix with dating?
So before we get started, we're going to play a game. This is called the That's So You game. This is made by a fellow Black LGBT member here in Dallas, Texas. So this game is just a group of friends get together and it's to figure out who would do what. So we're going to go around the room, draw a few cards, and just see who we think would do what, okay? So my first card here says, who would be the person to have sex right before church? I'm gonna get this to Jamal.
Oh, that is Jamal. I was thinking Jamal.
It's gonna go to Jamal.
I was. That's all of us were saying, to be honest.
You know what? Anyone that agrees with that, I will kick your ass.
I agree. Kick my ass.
So he can
Right. Okay, this is not for Super Ho.
Super Hole.
It's okay, it's okay. My next card says, who would get on the testifying stand and lie their ass off? That's Jamil.
Yep.
that's Jamil. She can tell a story.
And all my stories are true, they are real, and my news is real.
Okay, what y'all got? What cards y'all got? Who wanna go next?
Okay, I have will do anything for $5. And so that will go to Miss, no, sweetie, actually, I'm gonna give it to you because you'll do it for $1.50, but.
$5 is a lot, man.
Okay.
Well, girl, it's $5 more than you have, Nene.
No, sweetie, because you sit up here looking like a fool for $2.50.
And you're looking for it for free, girl.
We all doing this for free, child. Let's go.
Renew that contract.
Come on, right? Let's go, baby. Let's go on with this now.
Okay, bangs on the walls or ceiling or the floor to let the neighbor know to shut up. I would say I would give this to Jamal. Yeah.
Jamal can get a lot.
I would give it to Jamal because I just feel like when he's ready to go to sleep, it's time to go to sleep, and y'all would not be interrupting me.
I would definitely do that too.
Well, I think I'm gonna have a house, so I don't have to worry about that.
He said reshuffle that card.
And then has some type of deranged, freaky deaky sexual fantasy. And so since you're in costume, I'm gonna give this to you, girl.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Because I'm the only one in costume, right?
No.
But so moving on to my second card, I have ditched the group to go home with someone they met at the club.
Oh.
The baby.
The baby.
Doesn't actually go and vote.
That shouldn't be any of us.
So that's nobody. The one is called in.
Can you do that? I mean, if it don't apply to none of us.
No, because in CommuniTEA, we're informed, educated, and we're effectively making a change for our future. And the only way you can do that is through voting. Make sure you go out, get active, be aware, and vote. That's the first way that you can make a change.
All right, you better
Would,
teach them.
would shoot somebody in the foot for $25,000. And you know I'm gonna give it to my girl. Because my girl right here is about a coin. And voila, on stand. When she on stand.
To get that coin.
The coin, and then we got some feet that we can shoot too. So
Keep stretching, girl. You get a deeper hole for yourself.
What y'all got on over there on that side? Calls the police on loud neighbors. You do some facts for that. That's you. I don't like this one. Can't dance for shit. Can you give yourself a card?
Yeah.
Can you give yourself a card? It could have went to me too, but it's okay. Yeah, you know. Well, yeah,
You be having your little Selena thing going on.
Ooh, my turn, because I know who my cards are going
Yeah,
to.
Britney Spears.
So this card says, friend with hood rats back in the day.
Ooh.
Can only be one person on this panel, and he is the baby. The baby.
I know. I was surprised.
And that's at Memphis too.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the other one is can't fried chicken.
Ooh.
I really honestly don't think there's anyone on this panel, but if I had to go with one person, it would be Lava.
Lava like he bought noodles.
Okay.
It's like, oh man, I forgot about it.
I got a
What you
booty
got,
all
Miss
of
Witch?
y'all, so be mindful.
No, I skip on that.
Home go to Ray
So-
K. Hell no, bitch.
This first card can apply to like at least half the people in the room, but I'm gonna go with the person who probably is most vehement about this. So this says eats ass, and I'm gonna have to give this love.
Yeah, because he said that earlier.
that's why them teeth so white.
And then the second one is will snitch on anyone to avoid going to jail.
Ooh.
I know you've been getting picked on a lot, but I'm sure because you have too much to lose. You have too much to lose.
Okay, well if you put it that way,
So Sam. So everybody else do it be with the shady too. But Sam has to give you the reason behind
It makes it even more.
Right, try to clean it up. You know what I'm saying?
That's it. All right, y'all. So that is the That's So You game. You can go online and get yours at that'ssoyougame.com and get it for you and your friends. They also have an LGBT extension pack coming out very soon. All right. That'ssoyougame.com.
That's so you. It's your friends. You know me. That's so you. You and you too. Yep, that's you.
That's at 30%. That's at 30%.
Now, as far as like long-term sexual partners, is that like more so in a relationship, or do you guys can you see your guy like? Can you see yourself like with friends with benefits, or like a hookup buddy, or?
I just opened myself up to the idea of friends with benefits before because I don't like to say I'm a hopeless romantic. I like to say I'm a hopeful romantic. I used to believe that would just delay me finding like my one true love, because if I'm wasting time with this person over here, like how am I going to find the person that I'm truly going to be with?
Right.
But I'm starting to have a different perspective, because when you go on a road trip, you have to stop for gas every once in a while, right? So I'm thinking about it like that now. So I'm cautiously optimistic. So we'll see what happens, even though my ultimate goal is like a monogamous long-term relationship.
I never really believed in friends with benefits, because my thing is that friends with benefits is a commitment thing, and when I just don't feel like that no one really holds that commitment when they're doing friends with benefits, because you can have 3 friends with benefits. And I know how I am. I'm a Leo, so I'm going to be jealous. I'm going to be territorial. And no, I don't want you fucking with everybody else. I would rather you meet. So then that's when you just pretty much be in a relationship.
Yeah. I like to separate my friends in my sexual encounters.
So you prefer it to be separate?
Yeah.
I mean, I say that, but I think about the things I've done. So, like I said, I would prefer it separate, because I think there's different levels to it, because like I think if I consider you a friend, it's hard for me to put sex on that, because for me, I feel like sometimes like that jeopardizes the friendship, because my past experience, the people I've had sex with don't necessarily last as long. So I'd rather not. If I feel like this is a friendship I want to last, I don't like to cross those boundaries.
Okay.
I don't mind. Oh, go ahead, Farrah.
Friends with benefits are actual friends.
That's
I
what-
thought they were acquaintances.
Well, see, that's
Well,
different. I guess that's different, because like I have like friends that I had, like they're not like friends, but like we hang out and then we do what we do, whatever. But like I guess for me, it's like actual friends that you still have relations with.
So is it friends with benefits? Do you feel
So
like
what's the
friends with
difference?
benefits would be different than friends having sex? Because there are some people who
That's-
are like
so
really
what's-
good friends.
Fuck buddy.
And that
Well,
are
see,
no, even
buddies,
fuck
but I
buddy.
don't
There are
consider
people
them
who are
friends.
friends who have intercrossed that being
So-
friends, and then every once in a while it'll be like, oh well.
See, with me,
So what
in order for a friend to be for me to view a friend as something sexual, is that it had to have started sexual and they became a friend. And so I don't really have friends with benefits. I have benefits with friends.
So what do you consider a friend to be then?
A friend, I guess somebody I could depend on, like when times get rough, and not to be like all like, but like, say for instance, we've been having sex for a couple months or whatever, and I'm on your side of town, all of a sudden I get a flat tire, and it's like, hey, I'm outside of your apartment after we just got done doing what we're doing, and you come help me change the tire, that's a friend. And so
Or that was just a really good fuck buddy.
I'm like, that's what
Like that was just a good
No.
person. I'm thinking not necessarily a
And
friend.
we just fucking.
Yeah, and I'm just a good person.
But if I'm
and-
right outside your house, like I'm leaving your house.
Yeah.
It's convenient.
because some people wouldn't do
Yeah.
it.
So and then
But
that's
some
just because
people wouldn't do it.
it's just ugly people in this world. That's mine.
And but see, my I statement, I consider attributes like that a friend, because I know people who have friends who wouldn't do that.
That's
And
true.
so that's why I say that. That's when I consider it like, now you're in my circle to where I can call on you for something.
With me, I can't do friends with benefits just because that when I do have sex, it's an experience.
What is this? So we have a clip that we want to show. 'Cause you keep-
That would
It's-
be yeah.
So it's definitely an experience. So like an experience meaning like the sensuality of it is very heavily emotionally tied. I know how I am.
Okay, how are you? I'm sorry. I want you to tell me what exactly do you do that makes this a great experience?
So
It's not a conversation.
right.
Okay,
But
what
the thing
did you
about
say?
so the thing about it is I get pleasure from giving pleasure. So I have a knack for figuring out what people like and shifting based off of what they like. That can be where I kiss them. That can be where I touch them. That can be what I do for them in their moment. You know, I've been able to. I'm really good at assessing people and their nature and like understanding sexuality because I'm hyper aware of my own sexuality, and so I'm good at shifting. And so I get off from being able to
Get you off.
get somebody else off.
Oh, so you're voodoo too? Okay.
But like with me, and I'm also a Scorpio, so like I can't have no friend and we fucking, but then in the background you telling me about somebody you dealing with and talking. I can see you with other people because at some point I'm gonna get in my feelings, and then I don't need you getting in your feelings about some shit that I'm doing. So necessarily don't work for me. But there is this person that I used to talk to, and I recently found out that like he has a group of friends. And like within his group of friends, they're like actually friends, like they hang out actively. But they have, like their group of friends, they all have sex with each other. And it's like a common thing. Like it's nothing for them to like go out to like a freak party, and if nobody's there, they're gonna finish each other off.
And see,
And so for me used to talking to this person, like we was talking. And so like now when I see them out, I'm like, damn, well, when we was talking, was you fucking your friend who was always around when we was hanging out? You see what I'm saying?
That's a
So
good point.
that thought always come back in my mind. And so like, it's weird, but it worked for them, you know?
I mean, it works.
It work, but it don't.
Separate all of that.
Yeah,
Right.
I can't. It's hard for me to separate. Granted, I don't have a lot of sex, contrary to belief, I don't have a lot of sex. But when I do, I'll have sex with you for a specific reason, and it's gonna be like an experience, right? And like even though my random leak ups is gonna be with people that I'm just like, damn, I'm just not fucking any and everything. And so when you look like something, you got some, and I'm fucking you or you fucking me, it's gonna be something extra internally there for me. Like I told you, I had met the boy at free, I had met the nigga at Free Zone, and we had sex, and I was talking to this motherfucker. I thought I had within 35 minutes. I thought this was the man of my dreams, type shit. But that's because I don't allow myself to like fall for people that easy, or like I don't give myself to that many people. You know what I'm saying, in that type of way.
And enlighten us. What is Free Zone?
So when you know.
Okay. It's one of those things. Okay. Well, in that case, you were saying with that you can't necessarily not differentiate. You wouldn't want to necessarily have somebody who's been having sex with their friends. Now, do you feel that? How do you guys feel about? Well, do you feel like it's easier to go from having like a sexual relationship to a friendship, or like a friendship to a sexual relationship?
I think it's easier going from a sexual relationship to a friendship, because some people may think it's hard, but they honestly should have been your friend before they got to that sexual. In my opinion, I mean, if you get to know the person, but we talked about friends with benefits, we talked about hookups, but for someone like me, to Chris's point, you may think I have sex a lot with a lot of different people. It's the same people. It's just a lot with those people. Right. But as we, have those sexual relationships with one another, it's not just okay. I busted that nut, so I'm gonna go home and you're gonna go home. No, we can chill, watch a movie, and we can hang out. Because if, to your point earlier, that energy is not right, then I don't want to even have that sexual relationship with you.
Yeah, and for me, I agree that it's easier to go from sex to friendships, but that's because in the gay community, we often, even without friends, like we often look at sex first. Like we often look at somebody, are they attracted? Do I want to have sex with them? That's what makes us want to talk to people most of the time. Like, no, it is what it is. And so we have that, and then, like you said, then you start to develop a relationship. So you go from sex and then you become friends. But for me, when I'm friends with somebody, I put in like, if I really call you a friend, like I said, there's a lot of people I know, I'm social, so I have a lot of acquaintances, but if I call you a friend, it's hard for me to see you like that, because then you become family to me,
like a
and
sibling.
I'm like, oh, I can't have sex with my brother, like I can't do that. So, but if we are having sex first and then we develop friendship, like, oh, okay, but then it depending on where that level of friendship goes, determines on if we're gonna have sex again.
I will say, and adding to that, because I agree with a lot of that, and like what I was saying earlier about how like it's starting off sexual and becoming a friend. What I'm finding, at least in my sexual circles, that recipe where it starts off sexual and then y'all develop over time into a friendship is very fertile ground for a relationship. Exactly. Because now we've seen your sexual adequacy, we've seen that we were compatible in the bedroom, and now you're a friend. Oh, it's on and popping. Like in case we decide to do it. So that's just something that I'm observing in my life currently right now.
So then, when you talk about that, then I know he said something about earlier dealing with dating and everything. Like he prefers to not do one night stands. He prefers more so to like do any sexual thing in a dating relationship. But I don't see how different that would be from someone who's having like a friends with benefits kind of situation as well. Because I would look at dating almost like a friends with benefits type of situation. You're getting to know somebody. You're trying to learn their morals, their tenets, their values in their life. On top of you are having, a lot of the times in a dating relationship, you can have sex, even though sex may not even be in your dating relationship.
The only thing I have to say on that is like it's different, because if I'm dating you, my intentions are different than if I'm like
Just your friend.
Just your friend. So,
but let's say, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, because like I said, if I'm dating you, then my intention is to have that long time relationship with you. But like friendship, like I want a long lasting friendship with you, but like my intentions on what we do and how we go about that are going to be completely different.
Do you have, or when was the last time that you had like a friends with benefits type of situation?
like I said, what do you define as a friends with benefits type of situation?
Because
like you said, I have fuck buddies that I can like we cool, but I don't necessarily consider you a friend because when we hang out, we may go eat, we may go do something else, but at the end of the day, we hung out because our main intention was to fuck. So that's not, but like friends, like I'll go out with you, we can go do whatever, but I don't have any intentions on having sex with you or anything.
I think whenever I'm dating someone and I'm in a relationship with someone, I'm in tune to your mind, body, and soul. Mm-hmm. With a friendship, I'm not in tune with all three of those things, in my opinion, because I'm not getting into your body as a friend.
Mm-hmm. But honestly, with friends, that's actually important these days because you never know what people's intentions are,
especially in a gay relationship.
What their experience is, like all of that.
Right.
So.
But I like how you put that. Like my friends, I'm into you holistically. But when it comes from the aspect of mind, body, and soul, I just want you to have be good spirited, kind spirited, and where you at mentally. I'm not looking at your body. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not about your body. I'm not about your physical attributes because you're my friend. I'm not looking at you like that. Like, but if we date,
because there are people.
But do you have friends that are sexually attractive? though. Like, because I mean, there's some people who have.
Bad bitches link up. I'm friends is cute.
Well, because I would say, like, as far as the question of, like, is it easier to do sex to dating or dating, or not sex to friends or friends to sex, it depends, because I've been on both ends of the spectrum and everything, to where after we became friends, there's no more sex in the situation, you know?
Right.
And then there's been times where we have been, like, or we have been friends, and it ended up, like, it's only once, maybe twice that's happened where I've ended up in a sexual relationship with someone that I consider like somewhat of a friend per se and everything, and even without that sex, I still would consider them friends. Now, what would you say that if you were, I've had friends more so where I've been attracted to them, but they were not on the tip of either being attracted to me in that moment in time, or they were not emotionally available for anything outside of friends. And then y'all do hang out and you're like, you are a pretty cool person, you are a great friend, but I may still be sexually attracted to you, and you know, maybe one day that line may cross. Have you guys had that type of relationship, or how do you view those type of relationships?
That's a different scenario. So what you saying is that you was into somebody and then they weren't ready, so they friend zoned you, and you in the friend zone, and then it's like the likelihood of you getting out the friend zone, that's something different than starting out as friends and then that friendship developing into something else, because you weren't initially, your mindset was not about their body, your mindset was that friendship, and then over time to develop into something sexual, right? And then versus the sex one, like we hooked up or linked up to have sex, and then through our engagements of having sex, I realized you was cool, we got a lot of shit in common, and we developed a friendship type shit. But what you talking about is something different, because I was looking for sex, but I didn't get the sex because you wasn't ready for that, and you friend zoned me because you thought I was cool. And now, like, once you ready, you know what I'm saying? Are you gonna be ready to have sex? Like, that's
well, different. I mean, I have friend zoned myself a lot of the times in those cases because, like, I listen to you and I listen to what you're doing, what you're saying, how you are, what you're moving like, and it made me think, okay, you're probably not available. However, I may be interested in you, but because I don't want to necessarily either ruin some lines or just go down that path with you of just having sex, it just may be something to where, okay, well, you know what, you'll just be a friend, and then, but like, let's say for instance, as time goes on and you develop a likelihood of having a deeper friendship, and you see those particular qualities in that person, do you still think that would be something that would be likely to happen, or?
Yeah, it just depends on the person and the scenario. So like, I came into the mindset like, damn, I want to fuck, damn, I want you, but you not ready. So let me just play this friend role until you get ready, and then when you ready, then we can see. But that's a role that a lot of people play. Like that's something that happens. Like you'll have somebody like they want to get close to you, but you're not ready for that, and then they'll just wait around and try to be your friend. A lot of time they wait around with the intent to get to you later when you're gonna be ready, which is not the most positive thing to do, because that's not healthy. That's actually toxic, right? It's like it's predatory.
Well, I don't think so at all. I mean, if I'm thinking what you say, like if I meet a guy, I like him, he doesn't want me, but I want him,
I don't think there's nothing wrong. Girl, what is funny?
I can't get over your wig.
That's a win for me.
Good grief. But seriously though, so I'm just thinking that if he's not ready for me, I'm going to stick around because I'm going to show you what the fuck you missing in the hopes that you notice it, and then you'll start liking me. We start talking more. You get to know me, and then we are now dating.
I don't know what those intentions are to me, because
Right.
if you have the intention on trying to change my mind, that's different. But if you're like, okay, well, you made your decision, let's just be friends, then okay.
Yeah, and then like,
You go for what you want. If you see that guy and you like him and you want him, I'm going to stick around. I'm going to be your friend. I'm going to show you who I am, and then
but you can't expect them to change their mind.
Well,
you ain't finna be trying to heat me up talking about some you wanna hang out, you wanna fuck. I'm telling you I'm not interested, and then you gonna be my friend, but at the back you only my friend to try to convince me to be with you. That's creepy as fuck.
Okay, hold on. I'm not saying manipulate the situation. I'm saying just we friends, we cool. I'm not gonna press the issue. I'm not trying to get you drunk. I'm not trying to persuade you. I'm just showing you who I am. And as we hang, this guy, he actually cool. That at some point something could happen.
It's like
that's just like with friends.
But that's different than what I said. What I said was that you try to link up with somebody and you try to get with somebody and they tell you no, and then you take on the role as the friend in the hopes of, well, I'm just gonna stay around and I'm gonna see what I can do to try to convince this person to make them want me. That was completely different than what I said.
I would say this: if they're truly your friend, they already know who you are. You don't have to tell them who you are, show them who you are, because they're your friend. They should already know. If they're truly your friend, let's just say that.
Are we talking about already friends?
What?
Are we talking about when the people are already friends, or when you meet someone and they're like, no, I don't want you, I'd rather be your friend?
Either or, but my thing is, if someone doesn't want you and they show you who they truly are, then move on.
Right.
Like, my thing is, I get it, where we want to
messing with yourself, with your mind.
Yes, because at the end of the day, that's gonna mess with your psyche.
Yeah, and that's gonna lower your self-esteem and your self-confidence.
Okay, I guess I'm coming from a bit different perspective. Like I said before, not manipulating the situation, but you meet someone. It's just like friends. You become friends, and at some point you're like, oh shit, I like this person, and then you express that, and the person like, well, no, I don't like you. I'd rather be your friend, and you continue to be friends in hopes that you get that the person ends up liking you. Depending on the person, yes, that can mess with your psyche. But if you are solid in who you are and knowing that, okay, well, I'm just going to stick around, continue to show my great qualities. And if he likes me, we'll start dating. And if he doesn't, then we'll move on. That's what I thought you were talking about, a sensible person, not someone that's actually trying to manipulate the situation.
But explain, I have been in that situation so many times.
Yeah. And it's
but that situation you explained is still not mentally healthy for you.
It's not.
Because that depends on you. That's on you. If me, Edmund Simpson, over here, and I'm thinking that, okay, I'm just going to chill. I'm just going to continue to be myself. And if you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. There's nothing wrong with that mental, because at the end of the day, I'm still at peace. I'm still going at home thinking that I'm myself. No, I'm not acting like Nikki Parker. No, I'm just going home, and it's like, okay, well, if he ever latch on, then he latch on. For me, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, if you are weak and you cannot handle that, then that is on you.
But you're also saying, like, if it don't happen, it's okay. But we were saying, like, your main intention is to change that person.
That's his mind.
Okay, well, that's not.
That's manipulation. But he already said that that's not what he said.
We got.
So we can also
what was
have another
perspective.
Well, I guess going back to.
It's okay.
I guess going back to the fundamental question, like, is it easier for me personally to go from like friends to relationship material, from relationship material to friends, or like you can replace relationship material with sex? For me, it's actually much easier for me to start off as friends with someone and it transitions into me seeing them as relationship material. And the reason why is because I trust them. There's this layer of intimacy that's there. I'm getting to know them. I see them as a multi-dimensional person. Like, there's so many layers. and there's so much more about this person to adore when I had met them originally and they were just a person who was interesting. So
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And I like that. And just kind of piggyback off of what you said as well too. It's like for me in my dating relationships or my partner, I want a friend. I don't care what anybody says. I want a friend. I want to be able to sit up, talk about things because so with a person that's been in like a few relationships that have blossomed into a relationship from a friendship, I've learned that. Well, okay, I'm gonna say this. One of my first relationships was actually with a female, but that was already after me already knowing the full glory of who I am. So I just feel that in that particular, like I knew that I liked her when I first saw her aesthetically. So I was like, okay, well, I don't know if she would go for me or not. It's just gonna be friends. I think she's still a cool person. And literally all of that went out of the way. But like us actually being friends, talking about what we're going through and how we're going through it and things like that brought us closer. But one thing that I noticed was that when we actually became in a relationship, what we built as friends kind of went out the window for me personally, because it was like, well, I don't know if I can share everything with you now because you're like, I have to have a certain type of like thing with my friend or with my lover versus than when we were friends. But then also too, even with me dating men and everything, like I still want to have it to where I can actually call you a friend. If we want to go ahead and talk and dish whatever, we can talk and we can dish. Of course, it will be certain boundaries because you wouldn't want to like be like, oh girl, yes, and then come and beat my back end kind of thing,
That's what me and my man do.
Well,
we call each other girl, bitch, girl, his dick print showing, and then go back to the house. And
because you and I calling each other girl,
not demeaning each other, but definitely call each other bitch and girl.
But I do think that we have starting as a friend,
right?
Starting as a friend and ending in a relationship does afford a certain vulnerability.
We make you feel like
that you don't get if you're just trying to like right off the bat date a person. And then sometimes, kind of alluding to what I said earlier, some people are not emotionally in that space, in that place. So I could meet you and you just got out of the worst relationship in your life. You need time to heal. You need time to breathe. Right. And I can actually connect with you on what you just came out, and we actually blossom a friendship.
And so right now,
but it doesn't mean that I have any of my sexual feelings towards you have changed or anything. It's just saying that you need this more at this particular point in time, and even if you need this for the rest of our entirety of our relationship with each other, I'm willing to do that. And I think that's a little bit more so what he was saying.
And I agree with that, but I don't think everybody has that level of maturity.
So it's level of maturity.
Right, so we would be speaking of individuals and not just generalizing the whole thing about
We're always talking about individuals.
Because we use I statements here.
We're always talking about individuals.
Well, you can call me Big Small because I am notorious for being in situations like that. Like, it took a second, right?
It didn't. It was right there.
Like, I've been in multiple situations where I've been friends with someone and then suddenly it'll just click and I'm like, ooh. I see them as more, like I can feel it. And I will say that when it doesn't work out, like it is harmful for me.
Yeah.
But what I will say, like what makes it not toxic for the other person is that I'm always brave enough to let them know how I'm feeling and what's going on, so they always have a choice to move forward in this friendship with me knowing how I feel.
Right. Exactly. And I think a lot of times we don't have those particular, the other end of the communication of whether or not I can continue, because it's like oh, well, yeah, I don't see that like that. Oh, okay. Well, girl, what we doing on Friday? And then it just goes over, and then it's like 2 years from then you catch each other in a vulnerable time, and you're thinking that, and it's like, I told you, girl, no.
I think if we say what we mean and mean what we say, then we wouldn't be in these situations that we're in. That's my opinion on it, because to Sam's point, when you said you've been in these situations before, if you really express how you feel, I mean, sometimes they may have those same feelings, sometimes they may not. If they don't, move on. I mean, I always tell people we're a certain age, and some of the people that's in my life haven't been in my life all my life. Right. So just because you came in my life at a certain chapter in my life and you decide that you don't have those same feelings, I can move you out of my life because you wasn't in my life. My life was good before you came in it. It'll be good after you're out of it.
Right. Okay, so, but that's the thing. So if somebody confesses their like or love or whatever for you, and you don't feel the same way, does that mean you have to write them off? Like,
No.
that's what I'm saying. So
No, I don't have to write them off, but sometimes they feel like they have to write themselves off because they can't deal with being around
They can't
you.
take
And
it.
that's-
They
and
can't
that's-
take it.
rejection.
Right, and
Right.
that's the point that I was getting at, and especially like within our community, rejection is like a big thing, which is why like we try to be a lot of times we try to be people that we're not. A lot of times we try to adhere to stereotypes. A lot of times why we try to uplift stereotypes is because we have a fear of rejection, right? And so like that internal fear of rejection is always going to be there. So when engaging friends, right, and when being vulnerable enough with a friend to let them know, hey, I'm really feeling you. After you have already developed a friendship, after this person has become an important piece of your life, you tell them, hey, I want to be more. And then for them to say, no, I'm not interested.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
We'll see.
Too,
But
that- that's-
last
but that-
thing on yours, no sometimes means next opportunity.
Exactly.
Right. So, but the thing about it, but initially, but also you have years of experience, right? And everybody,
That's no shade.
No,
I
yeah,
get it.
that wasn't shade. That wasn't shade. And like, you have years of experience, so like you've grown up enough to know and been through so many situations where you can say no means next opportunity. But for someone like who hasn't had as much experience, or someone who's still trying to figure out, navigate, and find themselves, them getting a no from somebody who they were all into or who somebody they have a connection with can be hard. It can be detrimental, and it can make them feel less than, and it can make them feel not worthy, right? Because it's like, you were my friend and you were supposed to see me, and I thought this one way, but I guess the feelings weren't reciprocated. The feelings weren't mutual. The feelings weren't mutual, and so now that I know that, I feel some type of way. So it's like, how can we continue to go on as friends when like internally, I know I'm gonna see you, and I'm gonna always, when I see you, I'm gonna think about that rejection.
See, and how I look at it from both sides, from both sides, it can be a little bit, it's the responsibility of both parties, because like y'all always hear me preach about expectations. When you have too many expectations, that's when you start having like these filters to where it's like, oh, you friend zone me, I didn't want that, so now you're an enemy. And so like, sometimes when you have too many expectations, it sets you up for negative emotions about somebody who might genuinely really want to be your friend.
Right.
On the other side, I feel like in the community, when you were talking about, I completely agree with like the whole rejection thing. I think what it is that sometimes, at least for me, my experience, people that have friend zoned me, they don't want to be my friend. They're just letting me down easy. And so is it like, are people
Sometimes.
and so like, I feel like there's a lot of people out there who friend zone.
Because they don't know how to reject.
But
Because,
right,
like,
exactly.
The rejection is
You know how to
worse.
reject,
Rejecting
because
somebody.
rejecting somebody, you're rejecting somebody is just as worse as getting rejected, especially like when you like genuinely a nice person.
Right, and so like me, whenever I friend zone somebody, and I hate the term friend zone because it has such a negative connotation, like you're just throwing somebody in the clearance rack or something. No, when I friend zone somebody, because I guess I'm kind of like at that stage in life where like everybody's like, a lot of people in my sexual pools, like my friends with benefits we're waiting by the phone. Like I have really good friends with benefits. Like at any given moment, we can call and say, "Hey, let's do this," and it would be I'll be changing my relationship status on Facebook. Like, and I'm not trying to brag. I keep friends with benefits like that. But whenever I friend zone, I really mean I want to be your friend. So while I may not see you in that way, that doesn't mean that I don't like you're less valuable. You're a different kind of value.
Yes.
But I guess it's just, again, like you said, it's what your intent would be for sure.
Well, that's why you state your intentions. But to your point, when we have expectations for what we expect it to be, and they don't know what our expectations are, that's when we get let down. Because sometimes nobody knows your expectations but you. I can tell my man or my friend or whoever, like, damn it, these dishes better be done when I get home. If those dishes are not done when I get home, I'm only setting myself up for failure because, well, in that situation, I'm telling them what I want. But at the end of the day, they're their own person with their own mind.
Damn. Exactly.
The dishes better be done. You gonna be outside with Scruffy in the backyard.
So the issue I have with this is because I have a really, really, really good friend of mine that when we first met, we met at the club, we kissed, and our intentions were completely different than where we're at now.
Right.
Like, it was, it was what it was. We sent each other news. We was like, going that route. But then we didn't see each other for a long time, but we were still in communication. And we realized we had so many things in common that we became friends. And so then we became really close. And then we both moved to Dallas together. We realized we lived like right across the street from each other. So we were hanging out all the time and whatever. And then by then, I had already friend zoned, like in my mind, but then he came back and was like, oh, well, let's try this again. And by then I'm kind of like, ugh, but like, I don't see you like that anymore. Like, and so it was hard for me to say that too. But I know it was just as, like you said, just as hard for him to like bring it to my attention, like, let's do it again. So it was just, but I mean, we're still great friends to this day, literally one of the best friends I have. But it's like I said, it's just that level of like being mature and understanding like where each other are. And once you express your feelings, like you can't have, like you said, that expectations of them reacting anyway. You just have to see how they react and take it for what it is.
But just the communication, most definitely.
And then the rejector. The rejector, do not play with the rejectee's feelings and emotions. If you reject somebody, let that be it. Don't be trying to go back and, because
a lot of people rob and dig them. They blur the lines.
Yeah.
So to your point, don't blur the lines. Just I said it earlier, say what you mean and mean what you say. If you do that, then we have nothing.
Come on, Robin.
Robin.
So
I'm
in
using
this
it too.
case though, how do you guys feel, let's kind of change it up a little bit. How do you guys feel like when you are dating someone and then you have friends, when is like the best time for you to introduce your friends to your lovers, or do you even do that?
All of my friends know who I'm talking to because I know some of everybody, and my friends know some of everybody, and my friends go help me do research. And if I'm not out, my friends is out, so y'all need to have an eye on the beach and let me know what the motherfucker doing. If they say they at home, let they be at home, let they be at Babylon parking lot.
I think.
But I'm just saying, so that's
I'll be at Babylon parking lot.
I'll be at Babylon.
So even in my little friend group, we all do this. So if one of us is talking to somebody, we be like, first thing, I'm talking to somebody new. Okay, cool. Let's see a picture. Friend, do you know them? Let me check with Chris to see if they know them, because Chris might have some tea. And if I do, I'm gonna let you know. If I say, friend, I got you, because if I see them, I'm gonna tell you, and I might just address them. You know what I'm saying?
I think we need to be a little careful with that though, because people definitely do lie.
A lot.
People share rumors that they've heard. Spread rumors.
Or start them.
And so, I really do think that that's kind of where we are. That's why we are where we are, because a lot of people seeing pictures of people that they talking to. Hey, do you know this person? Then you got your friend that's lying to you about the person. You just
friends.
That means when it comes to that, that's something that me and my friends is like,
watch your friends.
Watch your friends. Right. So if that's happening, change your friends. But as for me and my friend group, it don't go down like.
But
I'm saying like you have to be careful about it, because you think that they not acting that way, but sometimes.
But okay, well, let's say for instance in this case though that we've just talked about being friend zone. Let's say for instance that person's really feeling them, they got friend zone, and they couldn't stand the fact that they were like outside of their zone, but like they find out months later, years later, oh well I'm talking to this person or whatever now. Like this person said this, that, and the third that was so not true. That kind of takes you away from being able to talk to somebody, because they are mad that they were friends on, and it has nothing to do with I don't think that you would be a good person for them, but it's for the fact of wow, I really like that person. Now they with my friend. Now I gotta compare myself with my friend, and so instead of doing all of that, I'm just gonna dead it and just say, "Well, girl,
you as a friend, and you should be able to discern the type of friend that you have, right? Because if I friend zone somebody and they have an issue, they have a problem with if I'm meeting and talking to somebody else, as time goes on, based off how they say, based off what I tell them, and based off how they act on situations, I can have a type of discernment spirit within myself to say, hey, you gotta watch that bitch, because that bitch is a little shady. You gotta watch. That hoe might tell a lie because that bitch really wants you. Now over time, you said years and months and all that, you should be able to discern your friend and know what your friend gonna give. So with you knowing your friend, you know what to bring to your friend and what not to bring to your friend. So that might not be the friend that you can say, hey friend, I'm talking to this person, because you know they might overreact and say some shit because they really jealous.
Well, yeah. And back to your original question. You said, when do you introduce your partner?
Yeah, how fast does it like that occur?
Not that quick, because of the simple fact I need to get to know who I'm dating before my friends get to know who I'm dating. So I can't introduce someone I don't know to my friends or my family. I think of that still as my family. My family, the amount of guys that they have met is not that many, because I don't want to bring someone around and every Thanksgiving Jamal had Dick at this Thanksgiving, and now he has Tom at the next Thanksgiving. And then I'm using the white name, you know.
Right.
But you know. But to my point, I don't want to let my friends get to meet them, because one thing about my friends, the group of friends that I have, they're going to quiz you. They're going to talk to you. They're going to try to fill you out. And then they're going to give me my opinion on the situation. But at the end of the day, I'm the one laying up in the bed with him.
Well, what do you feel about in that case then if you are hiding them and then you don't say, and it doesn't go anywhere and y'all end, and you don't tell your friends nothing about that situation, but let's say for instance 2 years down the line, I'm your friend and I start talking to this guy on Jack and we're actually talking, and then now we've gone on a few dates, I like this person, I kind of want to let you know who this person is, but if you're like, oh well, I dated that person for 6 months, and now do you feel like that's going to
especially
dead that situation, or does that dead their relationship, or dead your friendship?
So my friends, one, they will know who I'm dating, but to your point, they will know who I'm dating, but they're not going to talk to who I'm dating until I get to know who I'm dating.
Like actual meeting.
Right. They won't actually meet that person, but they know who I'm dating.
How long from how far?
It just depends.
My friends,
I can't put a time frame on it, how long it would be before they meet them, but when I feel comfortable enough that I know who I'm dating. But even if my friends wanted to date someone 6 months or a year down the line, me personally, this is just my I statement, I don't care, because at the end of the day, if it didn't work out with me, doesn't mean it's not going to work out with my friend.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you know it didn't work out with me, and I don't want you to ask me why it didn't work out with me, because I am a different person than what you are.
Right, exactly, going through different things at different times.
Yeah, so I mean, but you can play with my leftovers if you want to, all day, every day.
See, and I'm the type of friend that's going to let you know, friend, me and so used to talk, and this is why we stopped talking, so you need to be mindful, and you need to watch that, because I love you and I don't want you to get hurt, or I don't want you to have to go through that shit. You know,
you're okay with your friends doing that though?
No, I'm not okay with my friends doing that, but I'm the type of friend who would tell you, and once I tell you, there's just an expectation within my friend group.
You can tell them all day. We can tell them all day, but I'm an oldest child and I have 2 younger siblings, and my parents treat us all different because we're all different. I was not given things because my parents felt like I could do things on my own, whereas my younger brother and sister, which hopefully y'all don't watch, or if you do watch, you don't take offense, but they were always hand-fed everything they were given. Like, if we had to apply for financial aid, my parents did it for them. I did my own shit.
Right,
my first car was me. Everything that I've done in my life has been me and me only. My family's there. My mom and dad are there to support me, but they're not an enabler for me.
No, but okay, but even in that, what you just said as well too, with dating people, that like letting your friends date people that you dated beforehand too. I think we're all, like you said, we're all different people, but we all have different journeys. And where we were at, like say for instance, you said 25, correct? So like where you was dating somebody that was 25 too, where they were at 25, it's gonna be different than where they were at 28. So you can say what you said about who they are at that time, but that's your experience of that person at that time. And who's to say that they have not grown and gone further, and y'all probably won't ever date again? Who's to say that where that your friend is in their life, that they can cater to that person, whether they've grown or whether they've not grown as well?
For me, I feel like as your friend, me being your, I can share with you my experience with this person.
But as your friend, they should have known that you were with that person. So
my friend, if my friend was there doing me and this person, they'll know. But if it's a new friend, I'ma tell them, friend, I used to talk, you know. But my old school friend, my old school bitches, my bitches from the Gap, they know. Don't talk to this one, don't talk to this one, don't look at this one, everyone in the club don't breathe on this one.
But why is that?
Because it's a top three. It's a top three that a bitch better not even breathe on. Do you hear me? But I think that it's because we set that up, like, and I think maybe because of how I ended with those people, I probably didn't get full.
I think that plays a big
I didn't
part
get full and complete. I didn't get full and complete closure. So like, there's some part of me that still wants that individual, or there's some part of me that feels unsettled about how we ended, which leads to that additional caution or care that I have for that person, to the point that brings me to the point of that, like, I don't want my friends talking to them, because there are some people that I maybe texted or talked to that I could give a fuck about, that I don't care, maybe because I wasn't into them as much. But for people that I'm like into, because like it's rare that I'm just like really into somebody like that.
But it can be selfish.
Well, to that it sounds like it's
and maybe so, and I am an only child, so.
Well, yeah,
maybe so.
That's
I'm an only child
syndrome, but it sounds like it's some unresolved feelings there whenever that happens, because I'm that type of person. I'm gonna be better, not bitter.
Right. Well, I mean, even then, I think what I'm hearing from everyone in a sense is that both type of relationships have some type of vulnerability, some type of communication, some type of trust, intimacy, all of those things like that. Now, I would definitely say that with us here in the fandom, in the world, in Dallas and everything, weigh in on your ideas about this particular topic. You can always comment, you can always like, share, but let us know how you feel about that in dating, in relationships. This has been another episode of The CommuniTEA, and we like to see you next week, okay? Alrighty.
And that was the
T.
No.